All right, guys, thank you for joining me again. So, this is latest 247. So, the news making round right now is about what the boss of the NDLEA, which is the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the person known as Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, he made a statement recently when he was, receiving some test kits from a particular private firm, where he said that it is important and they are going to kind of promote it to make sure that people get tested for drugs. It's going to be something that they want to make it commonplace in the society so that everybody will get access to drug testing and be tested so that people will know their status. And of course, so that they can know who needs treatment and who needs to be helped in terms of drug use or drug addiction. So somewhere around there, he threw it in that he will also advocate for politicians to get tested. And also, while still saying politicians, named they are mentioned, which is the president, President Muhammad Buhari, Vice President Yemi Osibanjo, even the APC leader, who is the person of Senator Bola Tinubu, and a lot of other people, other governors, and other political appointees, and of course, strong people in society. And he was saying this with all good intention, with the fact that when people get tested, then they can know what their level of issue is when it comes to drug use for those who are using. And a lot of those that who are actually not using will now be scared of using when they realize that it has become something that is normal place for everybody to get tested. And according to him, he's going to even push for it to be used in schools, in different places where people gather, where people have connections, so that people will actually know their status. And of course, when people know that they can be tested at any point in time, no matter where you are, whether you're in the school or a workplace, a test can be scheduled where they will come and test you if you are actually on drugs and to know what level you are and if you need help. When people know that, they will be scared of using drugs. So those who are not using drugs will be scared of starting the process of using drugs, and those who are using it also will start looking for ways to cut down or to stop, because they know that when they get tested and it comes out positive, that it might affect their career, it might affect their life, in different ways. So they will be scared of it. So, and of course, it's a good thing, putting the fact that it is easy for people to make the test, because according to the DG right now, which is the general, he has said that the test kit that they're receiving from this firm, Primer, a particular private firm in Abuja, that the test kit they are receiving, that they are not paying anything. It is based on an MOU that has been signed with the company, for some years now, but it was not activated. So they just found out, and so he decided to activate it. So the test kits have been supplied. So, but they are not paying anything. This is not taking any money away from them, which is something he was happy about, according to his statement. So the firm is going to bear the cost of everything, but they hope to recoup their money from the test itself. So when people, carry out the test, I believe they are going to place a particular amount of, money on it. So when you want to be tested, you're going to pay that fee, and that is where the company is going to recoup their money. So not government paying them. Now, when the issue of money now came up, and I realized what might even be the motivation of the NDLEA boss to say that he wants everybody to get tested, or wants all politicians to get tested, all students to get tested, because that would be the easiest way for them to recoup their money. When these tests start going out in mass, when you go to a school, let's say university, how many thousand students do you think you have there? Now, if the school gets into agreement with them to test every student, and they are making the students to pay, then of course, very fast and very quickly, the company that supply the product, the test kit, are going to make back their money, which is a good business for them. But it's now going to be something that people are going to pay for, instead of being something that government can say, okay, let's just do it for the people. But it's actually great. And also, he said something about, like what I actually take out from this. Like I like taking out things from what is happening. So what I'm taking out from this is the fact that he made mention about marriages, like. Encouraging that since this test kit is now available, that he will propose and encourage families to get their children tested. And of course, that anybody that wants to get married should get tested, so their spouse or whoever's supposed to be spouse, we know, the status of their partner, if the person is actually into drug, maybe it's hiding it from them or something, so that they can know before they get into a relationship that will become toxic, before they get into a marriage that will become toxic, because the person is actually a drug addict and you did not know. So combined with every other kind of test you do during marriage, we know that during marriages now, You do tests for HIV, genotype, and all those different kind of tests, so as to ensure that okay, you're actually in a good health standing. So right now, the one for drug is also going to be infused. Of course, this is just a proposition. It is not yet a norm, yeah. But when it becomes a norm, it's going to be great, because a lot of people use drugs, and don't think that you might be able to tell when someone a lot of people use drugs that you not even know that they're using drugs. So, but with tests like this, it will be easy to okay to know if this person is using drug or not. And when people know that they're going to be tested for the drug, they might stop using it. So it's a good way to deter people from using drugs. However, to wrap it all up, the issue that the fact that the boss actually talked about testing politicians and talked about testing the president, testing the vice president, APC leaders, and things like that now began to spark some issues. Why would they even mention that? Is it suspecting? Doesn't they trust the president? I mean, you know how people drag these things now. Like, why would they even mention that the president should be tested for drugs? Doesn't he trust that the president is doing well, that the president is not on drugs? So for him to have said that, it means maybe he has seen some signs, and he's just trying to logically and diplomatically put it out there that politicians should be tested, even the president and the vice president. Now, what will now happen if you test the president and he tests positive? Oh man, God forbid. But what would that happen when you test the vice president and he tests positive? Or when it now happen when you test one of these big politicians and he tests positive? Is it no? It's going to hamper their career, because obviously nobody will want them to rule them anymore. They say, okay, this person is a crack at it and he's ruling us. How is he able to make informed decisions? But don't get me wrong, a lot of these guys still use drugs. We know that this is not something to be hidden. I mean, we've heard of it in the news. A lot of politicians and those in top places still use drugs, but I think it's a good move, because it's going to discourage, on a more serious note, it's something I think is going to discourage people from actually using those drugs that they use. Drug use is becoming a commonplace in the society right now, especially in Nigeria. Of course, other countries abound, but in Nigeria per se, drug is becoming something that is very common. Like every other person, even the young guys, those in music, those just go on social media, you see videos of people going crazy, people going mad out of different kind of drugs. I don't want to mention names, because there are some key names that I'll start mentioning right now. I don't want to promote it. So, but some of those drugs are quite dangerous, because it's like the normal drugs that people take now, that people used to take, is no longer very effective on some guys, because they've overused it. So it's no longer very potent for them. So they need something harder. And when they go for something harder, it might eventually just break up their chain of thinking, and they go mad. So a lot of people are going mad due to drug use. So drug is a no, 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 no. So if you're thinking of using drug, please don't even start. And if you're using drug, go to therapy, find a way to start getting it out of your system. Because if you don't get it out of your system, even though you say you want to quit, obviously it's not easy to quit like that. So you have to find a way to start getting it out of your system, to detox yourself. That is where you can start quitting. Because when you start getting out of your system, start getting back your system, then you can start knowing how to start pushing away from the drug. Whereas as long as you have it in your system, in mass doses, it's going to keep creating that urge for you to keep fulfilling it. So it will be difficult for you to stop using it. So find a way to start detoxing, go to see a therapist or whoever you're going to see. Just see someone that can help you get out of that drug addiction. So that's what I got to say on this, guys. What do you think about the president being tested for drug use? Thank you, guys.